Peace and many blessings, y'all. We are going to tune in to the archetypal energy of the Sagittarius full moon. So I'm going to look into some themes of freedom, like which archetypal energy would set you free. And then I'm going to pull a shadow card about what energy is leaving you, what energy from the shadows is on its way out so that you can usher in this new you, this liberating you. Other Sagittarius themes would be of wisdom. They can be associated with philosophers. I get heavy philosopher energy when it comes to Sagittarius and the way that they like to learn. They're very spontaneous and down for an adventure. So I love that too. So travel could be a theme for those right now, and just looking at what needs to be released so that you can be moved. Being moved is literally being pushed. You know, sometimes you feel something in your spirit and it moves you to do something. And so we had those type of movements happening, as well as some real life movements, some travel, some short trips, and maybe even a relocation for some of you. So I'm really, really excited to just tap one in. And I love that I was called to work more with the oracles this time around than the tarot. So I have some tarot cards here just for support if I need to go a little bit deeper on a specific situation, if I feel I need to. Yeah, we just rocking out all with the oracles today. And I'm going to be doing this by element, of course, for the YouTube. If you want more specific content that taps into by sign, then it's time for you to join Patreon. Because it's not even just the readings over there. It is a whole grimoire, actually, of self-discovery. And you get to look at the lens of someone else's discovery and turn it inward into you. Since we are in Gemini season and Gemini is an air sign, we're going to do the air signs first. All right, let me greet my cards. Peace and many, many blessings to you. Thank you so much for my ability to receive and share divine insight. Thank you to myself, to my ancestors. Thank you for those whose eyes are watching this video, whose energy is tuned in and ready to receive the information, ready to receive the channeling, ready to receive the healing and the insights. Okay, so let's begin. The Sagittarius full moon is on June 11th. It is currently June 9th. But y'all know how I go with me and the things that I say and how I do. Everything is timeless over here. So whenever your eyes lay on this video, whether it's a Sagittarius transit happening or not, it's for you. And I found you for a reason. We're going into the air signs. We're looking at the archetype, the energy, right? We're looking at the archetype that would set the Gemini, the Libra, the Aquarius free. What archetype sets them free at this time? Right? We're being very specific when it comes to what they are growing through and what they need to release. All right, moving forward. The connection to self being the most important. The energy coming through to liberate you is really going to liberate you. And you know what? I'm not even going to pull from the tarot. I feel like that was really clear for me. I feel like that was really, really clear for me, air signs. So, yeah, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, there's a deep transformation happening around your freedom. And it started because you started questioning what it's like to really be free. Like, and even if it wasn't that specific question, what does it mean to be free? There's some type of thing that keeps you unfree that you started questioning. I wonder what it would be like if I didn't have this, which translates to what would this be like if I was free? You understand? Tap into those questions that you've been asking yourself and look at the experiences that you're having right now to see how any chains that tied you to a way that you wasn't free, how they're dissipating, how they're disappearing, how they're falling off. Okay, on the shadow aspect of things for the air signs, what is the energy that is leaving them? What energy is present that is leaving because it is not in alignment with who they are becoming. It is not in alignment with this light being that is approaching, or the light being that really is already there. I just see energetic upgrades happening within the air signs, because when you are free and you reverberate that freedom into the universe, into the world, it is so healing. It is so healing. So, what is this shadow? What is the archetype that is leaving? It's present, but it's leaving. The eternal child just dropped to the ground, face up, just like that. The eternal child, that energy is leaving you. And so, just looking at that, it is okay to still stay playful. For sure, just watch who you play with. That's that judge coming through. The number 4 might be important also for you. So when I think about archetypal energy of the child leaving, I'm thinking about more immaturity. The card itself isn't representing immaturity, but with everything that's happening right now, I'm just seeing some maturity leaving within you and some immaturity leaving from within. And with that being said, your reactions are going to be different. This makes me think about the last reading that I did for the collective. This shift is happening because your reactions are different. And this could literally even just be piggybacking off of that, right? You're not reacting like your child self. You're not reacting like your child self. Whatever wounds and pains and irritations and things that your childhood or that your child self experienced, like they would influence how you would react, and now they are leaving. So we want to give thanks for the maturity for sure, because that's just coming through so much, so strong. I'm hearing emotional maturity. No more spiritual bypassing. Because kids sometimes they see how difficult something is going to want to be, and they'll shy away from it, or they'll do avoidance, or what I'm saying, they'll try to delay it as much as they can until they really got to do the work. And I feel like now this is leaving. Like, you're more serious about yourself, you're more protective of yourself. There are things that you are ready to experience that you don't know how to put into words just yet, but because this energy is leaving, this eternal child energy, it makes me even think about somebody who kept coming back, kept coming back into this realm. And when they kept coming back, they saw how like the adulthood aspect or even a teenager aspect might leave, and so they wanted to stay a child forever, and so they keep signing these contracts inside of the spiritual realm or inside this cosmic realm, where they get to have this experience as the kid only, because that's the fun part, because that's the best part, because that's the expressive part, right? That's the part where you don't have to take too much accountability because you're a child. And now the accountability is coming in for you, the maturity is coming in for you. This time, this life, your contract is not set to end as a kid, and so now you're forced to mature. And not even forced, because it's to your benefit, and it's also something that you want. Again, it is something that you are seeking. So may the truth and may exploration and may self-discovery continue to set you free, air signs. Love that. All right, and since Sagittarius, which the full moon is in, is a fire sign, we're going to do the fire signs next. Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. Let's look at your liberation archetype. What is a liberating archetype for this time during the Sagittarius full moon, or when your eyes are watching this video? All right, fire signs. What is the archetype for the fire signs that is helpful in the initiation of their liberation? Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. What is the archetype that helps set them free? Oh, there's one right here. And it's so wild because I didn't see it until I saw it, and it's called the unseen. You have some examination to do, fire signs. The unseen is calling you. That makes me think about the void calling you. Being able to tap into all of your senses is calling you. That is going to usher in your liberation. So it could be that you were too attached to seeing things before you do it. Oh, I gotta see this. I need to have some level of comfort within my eyesight, within my vision, right? In order for me to move forward. And now that the unseen energy is calling you in to set yourself free, you are going to be liberated by what you cannot see. What you cannot see is going to liberate you, because it's going to call in for deeper trust, for deeper leaning into the unknown, and deeper leaning into the senses that are not the eyes. So what are you feeling? How is the texture? What are you hearing? Can you pay attention to what's being put into these beautiful things? Okay. What are you tasting? What do you smell? Right? Get deeper into your body. Get deeper into your body, because it is your greatest tool. And when it needs to be a weapon, it is the greatest weapon. Sagittarius. Aries, Leo. I don't even know why the energy of weaponry came through, but the unseen will set you free. The rest of the energy that I'm getting from this card is trusting your inner vision. A download that came through recently was about how sometimes your eyes can lie to you. Rely on the senses. Use all of your senses. There is abundance in all that we as humans have faculties to do. Use all of your faculties to express. Use all of your faculties to learn. Use all of your faculties to discover. Use all that you have. Use your resources. Yeah, I'm just hearing you might experience some tests to your intuition. So it could be you needing to release any type of distrust of self. Seems like the fire signs are releasing any type of distrust of self. So I just heard if you got to act that way, then act that way. Sometimes it's like, oh, I don't trust myself enough in order to do this, or I'm in a certain situation and I'm feeling one way about how I pretty much know I have to act, but I'm looking at the other people around me and I'm like, oh, what are they going to think about this? Or am I going to be too explosive? Or what narrative are they going to create about me if I react in this way? Again, the reaction is coming through. Why are you worried about what somebody else's narrative is when you're feeling something so strongly in your body? Baby, if you're about to burst about it by being quiet, express yourself. Express yourself. Express yourself. The womb came out. The cave came out, as well as the nectar. So I'm not going to go too deeply into all of these because I'm about to jump into your shadow card. But when I'm talking about the unseen, and then we get the womb, the cave, the nectar is trapped inside the flower. It is the sweetness, right? Then we have the womb that's also inside. Then we have the cave that's also deep and dark and inside. You're being called to go into your own womb, to go into your own cave, to detect your own sweetness without the need for someone else's approval or validation. Fire signs. That's what's going to set you free. And like, what patterns do you see in yourself? What patterns do you observe in others? What environments do you see light you up? What environments do you see crumble you? There's a call for you to tap into the subtleties of every single situation and environment that you step into. So now, fire signs, what I want y'all to do is every time you go anywhere, do an energetic check on yourself. When you get there, do an energetic check on yourself when you leave. So you can start tapping into the unseen. You'll start to know what type of circus, what type of mall, what type of whatever it is, because we might think we're going to a restaurant, and again, it's a circus. We might be thinking that we're going out on a date to a cute little movie, and then we see that it's an actual hospital situation because something is being dissected. There's a surgery happening in the back of us. Like, it gets really deep. So your mind is about to expand to start seeing these type of things, and you got to be open to it. But it starts from your journey within. I'm using this mic because there's a whole bunch of dogs barking in the background. Or I'm like making sure that I'm speaking into it because there's a whole bunch of dogs barking in the background, and I want this to be heard. I know it's going to be heard because it needs to be. All right, so that was the quick one on that. And then since, ooh, the underworld, we are now going to tap into the shadow, right? What is this shadow archetype that is present within you right now that's leaving, that is getting released during this Sagittarius full moon? Fire signs. What archetype is being released from the fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What archetype is being released? It's on its way out. It is fading. Okay. That came out right like this. The judge is fading. Interesting how the judge is coming through. This is the second one now. Elementally. So with the judge leaving, now this puts me in the energy of moving away from judging yourself, moving away from judging others. There's been something that happened in your life that upped your empathy. It upped your empathy so much to a point that when you look at people, it's kind of like a deep understanding of whatever it is that they're going through. Whatever situation you see them in, fire signs, you're like, hey, I get it. Like, it happens. So a deep understanding, less judgment. And like I said, because that's being released, there are less situations that you're going to be put in to where your judge has to be tested, to where your judge has to be put down, to where your ego, which is pretty much the judge, is like that. And now it's calling for a deeper spiritual connection to the things that you experience. Now you're not judging them, you just really in it. You're just really present. What is life like without judgment? I feel like that was the question that you were starting to ask. And again, even if it's not that direct question, there was some type of something, some experience in your life that you're praying about, pondering on, whatever, and it energetically translates to that question. Let's think about that too. All right. There are things that we say that may not be that one thing, but energetically it translates to that. You're ready to receive now. You are now ready to receive, fire signs. That is beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go on to the earth signs now. Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. And it's interesting because I didn't even start to pull anything, right? All I was doing was shuffling, and the warrior came out when I started speaking the names of the earth signs. And then the number 10, warrior energy coming through. That's definitely liberating to see yourself as a warrior, to see your own strength. All right. What is the initiation for liberation for the earth signs? What is the initiation for the liberation of the earth signs as we are going into this Sagittarius full moon lunation? Continued liberation. Oh, the thread. What's the one facing out? The archetype of the thread. Okay, I'm still keeping warrior energy in mind because that did not happen for a reason. I mean, because that happened for a reason. It didn't happen for no reason. That's what I was trying to say. So the thread as the initiation for your liberation, your continued liberation, earth signs. This shows me anchoring, the thread, anchoring. I'm thinking of the saying, hanging on by a thread. But whenever people say that they're hanging on by a thread, they have a lot more strength in them than they think. What's the count on that thread? How strong is it? How thick is it? So there's that too. Sometimes that thread is all you need in order to pull yourself up, in order to pull yourself out. And I think that now we are being taught, earth signs, to value the small things, to value the small things that get us up out of something, right? Say we are extremely stressed out about money or even stressed out about health. Your body ain't doing right. But for 4 days, you wasn't even able to crack a smile. And then that one little next day, and then the 5th day, you able to get a smile because somebody done sent you a message and it was so heartfelt, it was so personal, it was so everything that you needed. You're able to smile. So your health might not be completely back in check, but already you're doing something to that little thread, that one little piece of something that's starting to pull you out. Sometimes it doesn't have to be the big things. It don't got to be the most richest things. It doesn't have to be the largest acts. Sometimes it really is just something very small, and paying attention to that very small thing and loving it, giving it strength, and like not treating it like it's less than because it's small. Don't treat your blessings like they're less than because they are small. So the thread that's coming in for you, look at everything. Look at every single blessing. Look at every way that you're loved, every way that something works out for you, every way that money be coming through, right? Every way that you're healthy, every way that you're blessed. You got everything working, all your faculties straight. You can walk, you can talk, you can sit, you can bend, you can twist. Give thanks. The thread freeing you is also a sign of miracles. The word miracles just came through. There's this imagery of connecting to the card, being in a dark cave, not knowing your way out, feeling your way out, intuition, right? Being able to see in the dark and then really starting to finally see those glimpses of the light, really starting to see everything in full color. And this deep, deep gratitude that you're stepping into, this deep way of understanding life and living life is going to bring you into higher experiences of pleasure, higher experiences of shock and joy, shock in the best way, of bliss. It's all on the other side of your joy. Like not on the other side of your joy, but in a sense that like you used your joy to streamline to get into the other side of it. Your joy is the currency. Your joy is the way. Your joy is the thread. And I'm looking at other ways that could come through. Like, what is something small that has helped propel you into a higher mindset, into a deeper love, into a whatever? Give thanks for the small things. It's the small things. It's the small things. It really is the small things. And I know how it can get because earth signs tend to be, again, more connected to the material in this physical realm. And so when something is looking like, it's like, wait, ain't nothing going good because I don't have this or because this doesn't look like this. You know, that control starts to come in about the material, right? Because we're used to getting it, we're used to attracting it. And when it's not there, it's like, hold on, what's going on? But there are so many other things that are going on. And sometimes that pursuit of the material comfort takes you away from appreciating those smaller things. And this is a really, really dated concept for real, but apparently it needs to be expressed and it needs to be said right now. All right, that's what's going to set you free, baby. Now let's go into the shadow for the earth signs. What shadow archetype is leaving the earth signs right now? Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. What characteristic, what archetype is present right now that is leaving? What is the shadow? What's the shadow teaching us? What's the lesson from the shadow? Look like the nectar want to come out, but I'm gonna pull just in case. Hi, survival. Hi, survival. Wow, survival just came over. That's the dog. He's right over here by the reading. Survival could be leaving, and look, he turned away too. While survival is not an archetype officially in the deck, you could just think about the energy of being in survival mode, and to have that leaving because you're now pulling yourself out by that little thread and making that stronger and trusting that thread to carry you through. Yeah, even the color, the thread is red, so it's connecting me to the root chakra, and I love that 10 came up even inside of warrior. What energy is leaving the earth signs? What is the energy that's leaving? What archetype is departing so that the thread can come through and liberate those further? Yep, the nectar. I just love how that happens. There's nothing that ever happens by mistake. There are no coincidences in this world. The nectar is the energy that's leaving. And so for it to say that sweetness is leaving, tenderness is leaving, it lets me know that you have gotten what you needed from it. And it's almost like a download, right? Like when you put a disk inside of a computer and it downloads 100%, now that file is there and you can remove the disk because the energy of it is inside. And so the energy of the sweetness is in there. The energy of looking at the bright side, and not even just the bright side, but looking at the benefits, looking at the altruism, looking at how everything supports one another by way of sweetness. That whole you catch more bees with honey, that's not beneficial to only one person. Everybody involved benefits from that. The energy of the nectar has been downloaded in you, and now it's leaving so that something else can get uploaded. But the lessons that you have learned from it are what have you learned about letting people close to you? What if you learned about your own touch? What if you learned about touching others? And again, this is not also always physical. There's a descent. There's a descent from light and love and sweetness into the darkness. But that darkness is not a painful darkness. It's one that is exciting to you. It's one that's like, okay, I see what's down here. Let me check this out. Let me see what you into. Oh, all right. Let me learn a little something from this. Like it's like you're being taught by your darkness because you're not afraid of it. And because of that, that's when you can start weaving that thread on up out of there again to be back into this playful, lighthearted energy. I don't want to say that you're out of lighthearted energy, but it's just you catch my drift. You pick up what I'm putting down and all that. I just heard it's been collected and it's time for what's next. It's been collected and it's time for what's next. Earth signs. Thank you so much. And then last but not least, of course, we have our water signs, our water babies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Let's tap into what's happening with them for the Sagittarius full moon. And when I say what's happening, I'm talking about the initiation, okay, for your continued liberation. What archetype is present for the continued liberation of the water signs? Let's talk Cancer. And okay, that came out quickly. Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. The siren. Wow, I've been working with this energy, so I love that that comes through. So the siren energy is coming through for the water signs. That means your power is coming through full force, and people associate the siren and mermaid energy with the dark feminine, but I just feel like it's feminine. Like when we put dark and light to it, there tends to be some type of judgment, or you just lose a lack in potency of one of the things. That could just be my own feeling about it, but. So for the siren energy to be coming through to set you free, it lets me know there's certain things that you're not falling for anymore. There's a certain magnetism and attraction about you that is either here now or coming through again. You're going to have to tap into it in order to free yourself. So you could have played goody two shoes for too long. You could have just been a And you happen to have the energy to know how to do so. You have the energy to know how to do so. Maybe you just didn't know. Maybe it was hidden. Maybe it was hidden. Now, let's go into the shadow aspect for the water signs. What is the shadow aspect? The archetype that is leaving. The archetype that is leaving, so that we can feel even more liberated within ourselves, within our being, within our expression. We got the siren coming through to initiate even more liberation. So what is leaving? Wow, I just saw the vow. That's it. And when I say I saw it trying to come out, but I pushed it in, and then something was like, look at what you just pushed in. I look it out and I see that, and it resonates to what I just said. The shadow card would have something to do about being a people pleaser. Now, the vow isn't necessarily a people pleaser. Again, I'm looking at the energy of how it's coming out for this specific reading and not the meaning of the card. The vow, the promises that you made to other people, those commitments are dead. Maybe you promised somebody that you was going to stay a virgin forever or until you got married or something like that. That doesn't resonate with you no more. You know, I don't know why I use that specific example, but just to give you an example of a vow. There are certain things, certain contracts, certain everything that just needs to be broken in order to set yourself free. And I love that we have a bird up here. It also reminds me of balance. Anyway, there are certain pacts, certain deals, certain things that you done made in the past. And it could be in real life, physical, or also could have been some cosmic contractual stuff. And your physical human self is having a hard time letting go of it. Or, yeah, your human self is having a hard time letting go of something because it doesn't understand or it hasn't deeply integrated the fact that that was made in a cosmic thing. So you got to let that go in order to move forward. What you're having trouble letting go has something to do with like how something made you feel, right? So maybe you're having trouble letting it go because it made you feel good, it made you feel loved, it made you feel supported, and the situation was never, how do I explain this? Greetings. The situation was never made for it to be a long-lasting thing, right? It was supposed to teach you something. It was supposed to nurture you. It was supposed to make you feel a certain way. But the way that it made you feel now, you wanted to fight against it to try to force somebody to feel something that they didn't feel. That just came through strong and really specific. So it's okay to break that vow and to be this new person, because this new person, it makes sense for you energetically. This new person, once you fully step into it, once you allow the energy to come into you, by breaking those vows, I don't even want to call it breaking a vow because that makes it sound like you are not operating in integrity, but it was old. Why would you stay committed to something that's old? If it says expire in 1990, it's 2025, why are you still doing that? So yeah, look at the commitments that you've made. Look at why they need to go, and then look at the energy of how you felt inside of the commitment, because now you're about to experience the opposite of that if it was like a unfavorable one. The goody two shoes is going away, because that was never an archetype for any of us women to embody anyway. It was created by the patriarchy. So structures are crumbling. Okay, that's all over. That seems to be an overarching theme for the Sagittarius full moon, because we are free. We was born free, and we're getting closer and closer to that through everything that's happened. All this crazy stuff in the world is bringing us closer together and setting us free. And through us being closer together, through community, we change so much. But it all starts here. It all starts with us. It all starts with us, singularity, and then we all come together because we start to magnetize. Our hearts start to magnetize towards one another. I am so grateful to be here delivering this message to you. I'm so grateful to be a divine channel. I'm grateful for clarity and for love and for existence. Life truly is the greatest gift. Life is the greatest gift. And I'm grateful that we're all here navigating it together. So if anything resonated with you, then please let me know. Of course, if you feel called to leave a love donation, you know where to find it, and it will be in the description box if you don't. Yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, all those good old beautiful things that the people be saying. I appreciate your support however it comes. Peace.